defensively, we could never get our heels dug in. They constantly had us off balance. We could never get enough stops. We got some stops, late second half, 6.5 minute mark. I think we got 7 in a row. But that was the tone even in the first half when we had the lead. Even though we were scoring at a really good clip, they were still scoring at a good clip. So defensively is really where the lion's share of this game, in terms of the faults that we have, will be assessed at.
What about free throw shooting as well?
Yeah, I mean, that's uncharacteristic for us to leave that many points at the line, specifically the guys that missed them. So yeah, to leave 9 points at the line in a game like this, it's tight. I thought we shared the ball pretty well, especially in the first half. But everything really focused on defensively, trying to get a grasp on them and get them under control, which it's a credit to them that we couldn't ever get our balance defensively and really be consistent enough.
It seems like Chucky went for the steal underneath the rim.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in its entirety. I don't know if Perkins lost the ball too, kind of lost it behind him, and he tried to go get it, and then obviously Perkins repossessed the ball, and by that time he was behind him, so Perkins was on the inside of him, so that's one of 75 plays that it comes down to that, but I haven't seen it in its entirety yet, just a brief snapshot.
Greg, how much did Tyler's foul trouble hurt your front court rotation?
Yeah, I mean, he's a good player, so that's part of us defensively, being inconsistent, that we get guys in foul trouble and we foul unnecessarily at times, that fouls that don't have value. And there's going to be some bang plays and some things at the rim, but we pick up some fouls that allows them to get to the bonus, and then they can see the ball go in, and it builds confidence when you can shoot free throws and make them. So, but Tyler's foul trouble was obviously, you don't want one of your better players sitting on the bench.
What did you see change with Tony and Tony Perkins in the second half?
I mean, I thought, obviously he's been aggressive. I thought both him, Peyton, and even Josh Dix, were able to get to points and to their sweet spot, so to speak, in terms of jump shots, and whether it was our inability, we didn't have enough pressure on the ball, we didn't get over screens well enough. At times our bigs were too far back, but they also hit some tougher shots, and that's what happens when you allow a team to get some confidence and get some easy baskets and free throws. Now these tougher jump shots, as you referred to with Tony, become a little easier to make. So it's a trend that gets established or not established that leads to guys making shots.
Greg, you've said that a lot here recently too, about letting teams get comfortable. What do you guys need to do differently, especially in these road games, to kind of bring that energy early to kind of get these guys?
Energy. I thought, I think we've still we've got to get better defensively, and that's part not fouling as much. That's part doing a better job. 2 or 3 rebounds I thought we should have had that they extend possessions on. That's part of doing a better job individually into the ball. And being more physical with the ball, specifically in screening situations. I thought we were trailing screens at times, and ball screens. We were running behind jump shooters. I'll learn more as I break the tape down, but I just thought we were consistently too soft on the ball. Not everywhere Chucky did a decent job on it, but other places we were not up into the ball as much as we needed to be.
What was your assessment of how Owen Freeman impacted this game? I don't think he missed a shot, but he seemed like he was really passing the ball out of the block maybe a little bit more than
yeah, he's a good player, and he's had a terrific freshman year. He's one of the better freshmen in the Big Ten. So he's been consistent. He hasn't been here one night and not another night. He's been really consistent, and he's been impressive from afar. When we've prepared for him to watch him, and he's had really good production for a freshman.
Coach, I always kind of had these lulls, like 3 or 4 minute lulls through these last few games. You guys came back, I think you went on an 11-2 run. Was your thought like this is our opportunity, or?
It's basketball. We have lulls too. It's a game of runs. It's a game of runs. You're trying to stay as consistent as possible, but something usually happens along the way to either ignite that run or to put you in a rut. You just try to manage those ebbs and flows and not let the dips be too long or too deep. So I knew when we had a lead that there's way too much game left, and also how explosive they are, you know, offensively. You know, they came back from 20 down against Minnesota. They've had leads. You know, it's but I just felt for most of the 40 minutes, we couldn't establish an identity defensively for a variety of reasons.
I was also hitting tough shots, but keep getting into the high percentage areas. I guess your assessment just.
Yeah, at times I thought we were too spread out, you know, and then Freeman drove us a few times early in the first half, and got his confidence going, and largely because we were too spread out, too many gaps. We did finally dig one loose. Chucky got one in the second half, but you know, you're cognizant of where 3-point shooters are, so that has a tendency to spread you. And then I thought Freeman did a good job of playing off the dribble and getting to those positions. But the biggest thing was in the paint, where you typically either too spread out, or it goes back to how we're playing in screens. We're not physical enough at the point of the screen.
Greg, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ben.
Your ball movement in the first half was really in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Your second half, your assist numbers went down. Did you guys
Because
move the
we
ball?
missed shots.
Did you guys move the ball as well in the second half and just didn't make shots, or was your ball
We
movement
missed some
not quite
pretty
there?
good shots. I thought AJ was at the rim several times, and I think he took very many bad shots. You know, he had the ball in the post. Other than maybe one jump shot early in the second half, I thought everything else he took for the most part was an efficient shot that you would take. Yeah, assist numbers go down when you don't make baskets, because we can make a great pass, but if the ball doesn't go in, we don't get an assist. Mike?
There's been a lot of focus on pushing inside even after the hot shooting start from three, I guess. You know, does this team struggle to, you know, focus on one aspect, one weakness without letting another one slip?
No, I don't know if we've ever been where I've wanted us to be defensively all year. You know, we've been pretty efficient offensively, just haven't taken steps consistently enough defensively. I don't know if it's not a focus thing. I think it's, you know, we've got to, all through the lineup, we've got to be better. Whether that's some that are in the first five or some that are coming off the bench. So that's the challenge, as I told them. We got, you know, a month plus left. We know what we can do offensively. I thought we did a lot of good things, but for the most part, it's been our defense through the year. You know, we've been able to cover that up by scoring. You know, and I was a team, because of how they play offensively, they're going to expose some of those things and put more pressure on you offensively than maybe your average team.
You,
Jeff?
you did make it into the overtime when Perkins missed that shot away, but before that, I think it was the 3-point attempt by Chucky. Is that a shot you were hoping to get?
He ended up having to go to that. That's not the first option or even the second option. It was more things. Actually, I think it was AJ in the paint before that, and he decided that it wasn't there for him. So
Is that a shot that you try to eliminate from Chucky's game?
he's made those. I mean, it goes down, you know, with how much ever time left, probably in a different position. So he's got to get a shot up. I mean, that's the main thing. Shot clock was running down. So I don't have a problem. He was pretty open. I mean, he was able to free himself, and I've seen him make that enough that if that's what he decides to do. The floor was pretty loaded. I don't think there was any gaps for him to get to attack. So you have to trust their decisions in that time.
Is this another good step for Steven?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he did a lot of good things. But you know, I'll find things I'm sure that you try to help him with to get even better.
Coach, you kind of just talked about the offensive firepower of Iowa. I'm sure that 4 players in Iowa scored 17 points or more. So when there are multiple players doing damage on the floor, how do you go about that defensively?
That's a riddle we couldn't solve today. It's a good question, but that's a riddle we couldn't solve. We had a lot of guys score too, so we have 3 with 18 or more, another one with 10. So yeah, I mean, that's just, you know, they're good offensively. You know, they share it really well. Peyton Sanford is a terrific player. And Tony Perkins, I think, has really matured into a really good point guard. And obviously the impact that Freeman's made as a freshman. And then you got other, you know, quality guys that play their roles really well.
Very obviously a couple quick buckets for John. Obviously his first game in a couple weeks. Just how did his body respond physically?
Yeah, I didn't think I think he feels fine physically, but you can tell he's been off. I mean, he's practiced for 2 days, but I didn't think he was as sharp defensively, specifically, as he's been prior to getting hurt. So that's going to he's going to practice more and get back into, I thought he was reacting a lot rather than anticipating, and that puts you a step or two behind when that happens. So that's a practice. He just needs to get back into a rhythm and a groove.
All right. Nice coach.
All right, thank you.